I don't know why I'm feeling so sarcastic today. I think it's because I've had a couple of ibuprofen. I think that's what it is.
It's 7:30 a.m. Traffic cops Lee Moody and Dan Kellett are on flood alert 10 miles north of Leeds.
We're en route to Pooling Wharfdale. The call is that overnight, due to the heavy rain, there's a large amount of flooding.
It's been one of the wettest years on record. Today, nationwide heavy floods have caused deaths on the road and trapped hundreds in their cars.
Most normal, sensible people have realised that this is a deep flood. Don't drive through it. You'd be amazed how many people drive through it and then get into difficulties.
When we have this level of rain, as extreme as this, it does cause massive issues, and the country can just come to a standstill, and you just know it's going to be a nightmare day.
They're taking over from officers who've spent all night tackling flooded roads.
You know what we're saying about people driving through big floods? That looks quite deep in the middle.
It doesn't look that deep at that particular time. However, that's walking across the highest point of the camber. When you start getting to the verges, that is going to be quite deep water.
1-4, just for your unit, we may be delayed somewhat. We've come down Arlington Lane, we're heading towards sort of like the White Hart. We're just having to assess whether we can actually get through a flooded section of road here. I think this may need to be closed as well.
Depending on the volume of water, the water can actually break the road surface. It can burst pipes underneath. It can blow manhole covers off, it can blow drain covers off, and it can cause major issues.
Watch out, because you're going to get wet.
Yes. Okay, we'll do.
No, that looks quite deep in the middle.
You just have to suck it and know that you're going to get wet, and your boots may be destroyed by the end of the day.
Tango 1-4, we're going to have to try and close it.
Do you want me to go and stick some cones out the other side? Because we don't want anybody coming through that, do we?
No.
Across Britain, there are 52 flood warnings in place, with 22 in Yorkshire. With the Highways Agency busy with road closures across the region, the priority for Lee and Dan now is to close this road as quickly as possible.
Increasingly nowadays, with the amount of traffic on the road, people are very much me-focused. I need to get to where I need to get to as quickly as I can. They're not concerned about why a road is closed. They don't think about the fact that we've closed it for their safety.
Hello, we're just about to close this because we're just having everybody flying around the corner, and it's only going to get worse because it's still raining.
Shut up, dogs! So I can't go through.
But it's entirely up to you.
You didn't come far up on your boat, so I don't think...
Say again? You're in the 4x4, sir.
Yeah, you know, on days like this, you're going to have certain people in certain vehicles that think they can drive through it.
Although the flooding may not look too deep, many cars can start to float in just 2 feet of standing water.
I think we're going to have to take the chance.
I'm afraid the road's closed. There's a rather large flood.
It's not long before the cops need to assist people heading to work who are stuck behind the flood.
Are you okay? Do you want me to watch your back?
It's all right. It's not my car, it's the works car, and I don't know how to reverse it.
Oh, right. Okay. Just don't go forwards.
Yeah, I'm struggling.
Do you want me to spin it round for you?
The issue that we had with this lady was it was a vehicle that she didn't drive on a very regular basis, and it had an electronic parking brake.
Oh dear. How embarrassing.
It was a case of the simplest way was for me to spin it round and then give her some advice on making sure that she knew how to drive a vehicle before she got into it.
It's nice of my colleague to watch me back, isn't it?
There you go.
Thank you very much. Oh, it's so embarrassing.
What a bizarre handbrake. Right, okie doke. Take my hat back. Thank you very much. See you later. Okie doke, no worries. See you later.
They've coned off the road, but can they keep it closed?
You, back that way.
On rural back roads north of Leeds, Lee and Dan try to cope with one of the wettest days of the year.
You, back that way.
At this point, I think we'd probably only been on duty for about 45 minutes. I was already starting to get frustrated.
Right, I appreciate that, but the road's closed with all the cones because you can't come past. Please make sure the cones they've been moved are back out across the road.
It may seem a little bit harsh under these circumstances. We do get quite forceful with people. However, you've got to.
And I've now realised my boots aren't as waterproof as I thought they were. Days like today are really busy. We're going from one job to the next, to the next, to the next. And it's just, you don't get time to stop and think. Extremes of weather I think, make our job 100 times worse.
Rising water levels can cause a serious accident.
Water, water everywhere.
And not a drop to drink. Oh, should have brought the kayaks.
Yeah.
Perfect day.
Under circumstances like this, where there has been heavy rainfall or quite inclement weather, you know that it's going to be a very long day.
They have to keep the roads closed, motorists out of the water, and emergency call-outs down.
This is the road that we were initially coming to. We got stuck further down the road at the other flood. We've managed to negotiate that now and get down to this. And as you can see, it's a hell of a lot deeper than the one further down.
It was next to quite a flowing river, and obviously you had all of the rainwater coming down from the fields as well. It was completely flooded from one side to the other.
And now there's something else.
Basically, it's just been reported from Ed, who's on the other side of the road closure, that it looks like potentially a cycling club are coming down. He's advised them that they won't be able to get through and that they should turn round. However, they've all put their hands up and said OK and carried on coming.
With rural roads like this, you do get a lot of pedal cyclists, the hardened cyclists who will go out in all weather. Now, the problem for them is any detour, especially around this area, could be massive for them.
Oh, he's coming under the barrier, so we'll wait and see how far he gets. 1-4, they're going to be brave, just about to enter the water. Oh, going,
Yep.
going.
Now we're walking.
Gone. Morning. Well, fair play to you, okay, because your bike's not going to break down, okay, and the only thing we would say is with flood water, you don't know what's going on underneath manholes or if any pipes have burst. So I wouldn't do it, but fair play to you. But then I wouldn't get on a bike in this weather anyway. So
No, well, we don't matter if it's a rain stopper.
fabulous. Take care. Now you're just making it difficult going through the deepest bit right in the middle. One for, just for information, we're closing Poole Road with Cayley Hall, Charlie Alpha Lima Echo Yankee.
It's not long before one frustrated motorist decides to go for it.
No. Well, that's why the most closed sign is on.
He gets a bit wound up by him sometimes, but that's just Lee.
I do sometimes get a little bit frustrated with people when they can clearly see the road's closed. They know why it's closed, and we're only doing it for their safety, but they don't appreciate that.
Have you driven past the road closed sign? Well, that's why you're having to reverse back then, isn't it? Yeah, it clearly tells you, sir, we can't do much more. All right.
I tend to be quite chilled. I don't let him wind me up. It doesn't really achieve anything by getting annoyed with him.
Are you laughing at me with my helm?
My kit had increased on that day because it was raining. I decided to put a hat on to try and keep some of the rain off, which didn't go down very well with Dan.
This is what I've got to put up with every day.
He's so aggressive today, Lee.
Why am I aggressive?
On this one day across Britain, emergency breakdown services deal with more than 5,000 incidents. 400 are cars stuck in floodwater.
It looks like the problem here has been people purposefully blocking the drains. We found a bottle shoved up one, another one was blocked up with a rag. There's a big hole here. I'm going to get absolutely drenched now, aren't I?
Yeah, possibly.
It's no secret that this country is getting wetter by the year. We're getting a lot more rainfall. It can't cope with it at the moment. It's certainly not something that we're going to get rid of, and I think days like that are going to become more and more commonplace as the years go on.